Hello, social media world. I am Marnese Jackson, and I am the executive director for the Midwest Building Decarbonization Coalition. And I want to welcome you back to our Meet Our Board podcast series. Today we have Briana Carmen Parker, full name. Okay, here here to join us to talk about her role with the board of directors, why it's important to be a part of boards, and just to talk about her. And so we're doing these sessions to uplift our board members, highlight their different backgrounds and work that they are doing. We want to share their stories, what drew them to wanting to be involved in Midwest Building Decarbonization Coalition, and then anything else that they're passionate about, okay? And so this is going to be an organic conversation. So just relax, Briana. Everything's going to be great. Yes, everybody can see you if you're sharing this on social media, okay? But Briana Parker is the Senior Director of the Justice 40 Accelerator Program at Elevate, a nonprofit organization designing and implementing programs that reduce costs, protect the environment, and ensure the benefits of clean and efficient energy use reach those who need it the most. Briana holds a Juris Doctor from the University of Toledo College of Law, a master's in community social work from Wayne State University, and a bachelor's in social work from Marygrove College. Yay, Marygrove. Before joining Elevate, she studied law, worked as a social worker, and worked as an organizer advocate at the Michigan Welfare Rights Organization, a public recipient and low-income workers organization in the state of Michigan. And the goal is to fight and eliminate poverty. So she gets the intersection between poverty, environmental justice, energy justice, and all that. And so here at Midwest BDC, just a reminder, we're here to eliminate fossil fuels in buildings, in the building sector. That means where you live, your schools, your places of worship, where you work, buildings across the Midwest before 2050. Our focus states are Indiana, Iowa, Illinois, Missouri, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan, and Ohio. And so we were founded because in the Midwest, we have cold climates, and we want to do this in an equitable way. So no other coalition was doing this at that time when we got started back in 2019. And so that's why we are operating by the HIMS principles, because things happen locally, okay? And that's where the answers are. And so we are still focusing on energy burden, high energy burden, and environmental racism, because these are the people who are impacted by these atrocities. And so, Briana, welcome. How did you get involved with Midwest Building Decarbonization Coalition?
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be on the board. I got started with Midwest Building Decarbonization Coalition because I work at Elevate. And Elevate is in Illinois. It's an Illinois-based national nonprofit organization. And when it started, the organizers of it came to Elevate to say, like, hey, we have this thing and it's about inclusion. And I'm about inclusion because it matters, right? Like clean energy, clean water, all of those things. And this move from like fossil fuels to clean water, to clean energy, to decarbonization, and all of the things won't happen organically for people in the communities that I grew up in without being at the table. So I thought it was a great opportunity, and I'm excited for the Midwest Building Decarbonization Coalition because in a short time, it's done a lot.
Thank you. Yes. 4 years, getting started in the pandemic, right? It is a lot of moving pieces. And for those who don't know, start a new nonprofit, you have to, get your stuff in compliance with the IRS. You have to have a board, an inaugural board. You have to bring people in, train people. So why did you want to be on the board of directors?
That's a great question. It's a new organization. It's so much to learn and grow with, right? Like I've never been on the inaugural board of anything. Board of directors of an organization that's supposed to be across the Midwest. That's amazing. So I jumped at the opportunity because it's a great opportunity to learn and grow, and I have, and also to give my gifts to an organization that's doing great things.
Yes. it's it is awesome, especially with members of the board who got experience across working across the work that we do. As Briana, um, I mentioned in her bio that she has worked at welfare rights organization here in Michigan, but then also Elevate Energy. So with that experience, how does that? What experience does that contribute to being on the board of directors?
Yeah, it's definitely about being a servant. So I
Hmm.
could say when you work with people that are experiencing poverty, it's serving and working alongside them. And Elevate works to ensure that people benefit from clean energy and water solutions that haven't, right, like that haven't benefit from those solutions. So it's very aligned with the work.
Hmm. Yeah, and so what people may not know about boards and how they contribute to the organization. You did say be a servant, right?
Yes.
And there's all types of boards, right? There's governing boards, there's working boards. Like, in your opinion, how does that look?
Yeah, so how a board starts off, because we got people, right, working together and they're like getting to know each other, and so a board can start off as a board that's just working.
Hmm.
I think the goal is to get to a place where a board of directors is visionary and just, out, talking about the organization.
Hmm.
Um, so it works in the way of meeting each other where we all are, right? Like meeting each other where we are, seeing the needs of the organization and trying to fill those needs, which is a process. It's a long process. It takes time. Relationships take time, in my opinion. What they always say, relationships take so much time that you got to have patience, which is hard, right? You have patience, but it's, as a social worker, I think like as a social worker, we think about the person in their environment, and so it matters. It matters to just meet people where they are. So I hope I answered that question, but I just want to say it's so relational. I just want to bring
Well,
that across. Yeah.
I don't think there's no right or wrong way to answer these type of questions because everybody come to, board of directors or any organization or a position of leadership in a different type of way. So and they offer different things. For example, to board positions. So in your opinion, what has been your favorite part with working with Midwest BDC?
My favorite part is getting to know the people,
Mm-hmm.
and also we get to create so much, like, because it's like a it's like a blank canvas, and it's like, yo, we have to do these things, and getting to the goal and going through the process has been, it's been a learning experience.
Mm-hmm.
So I've enjoyed that aspect of it. I also love governance. I love mediation. I love like how do you create a good container? So it's been an amazing journey and opportunity.
I appreciate that because I think with my first board experience was with US Can, and that was just I did not know what I was getting into. So I think what you mentioned is like some of your skill sets as being a social worker, which is definitely understanding people, meeting people where they are, but then also you like mediation, which I think is a valuable skill when you're working in a space, working across class, race, um, intergenerational. That's a good skill set to bring, especially to a board of directors and a coalition that's focused on eliminating these harmful things in our homes, right? That's also causing the broader issue of climate change and those injustices. So, what do you wish people knew about energy and climate justice that they may not know about?
Oh, I was gonna say they know more than they think they know.
Oh,
I was gonna like flip it on its head and say they know more than they think they know.
say
Um,
more.
well, it's like having something impact you every day of your life and you are totally oblivious of it. That's not real. You know more than you think you know. You live in homes, you like go outside, you are experiencing it firsthand, and so you're connected to it. And you know more than you think you know because you're always connected to it, you're always experiencing it. So the scientists are going to say this, but you're experiencing it. And as you experience it, you hold power. So we know that most, like more like urban areas, there are lots of toxins in buildings, like asbestos, lead, all of the things are in these buildings. And so people experience it. And so then they hear about it, but then it clicks. I've experienced that. I've experienced being like, living in this home that has lots of lead, living in this home and being exposed to asbestos. So I think people know more than they think they know, and they have solutions. It's all in the house. I mean, we talk about like how workforce development is so powerful and how it's the way of the future, to actually integrate and ensure inclusion happens. And so I think that people getting together and sharing knowledge is also important in this space. And so my message is, you know more than you think you know. Let's just get together. Let's join the fight. Like, hey, it's opportunities.
Thank you for saying that, because it's like, say if we're doing like, when I tell people just like the basics of understanding building decarbonization, I'm like, you got a high utility bill, don't you? Right?
Yeah, exactly.
I think what we have to do as, people organizers and people who are in this area of work, we have to do better at telling people, like you just said, more than you think you know, right? You are experiencing it head on. But I think we have to do better with the messaging and getting these real life stories, like, and making those connections a little bit better and more reachable. That's how we build people power locally. Like, hey, this is not far. Just because the science is saying all these techie terms from the periodic table, from chemistry class, okay, yes, that's one thing. Okay. But this is the outcome of all of that nasty stuff, right? So I wanted to ask, how can people who never had board experience, right, get involved with boards of organizations that they care about? What will be their process?
The process of getting on a board. Well, there's organizations that exist to connect people to boards.
Okay.
But I think being a community person and just seeing what's out there, volunteering with your local organization, seeing what's going on, because there are ecosystems that already exist.
Mm.
I would also say there are free board trainings that just train people on being on a board. Um,
Say
and my
more.
yeah,
Say
there are.
more.
Yeah, they're affordable, right? I've seen some for free, but most are affordable. Yeah, like there are clinics that do free board trainings, and you know what? My best free board training is on YouTube University. Okay, what can't you learn on YouTube? That's just the thing. Like you can learn a lot on YouTube. Um, but yeah, work with local organizations. I mean, local nonprofit organizations are pillars of communities, and so
Mm-hmm.
make sure you plugging in with them. Make sure because that's that old saying that Martin Luther King said: anybody can serve, anybody can serve, and that's a beautiful thing. I mean, we should be givers and give. And
Okay. Oh, so my question is, should everyone serve on the board? Just because some people come to board positions for not notoriety. Like, okay, I'm on the board of whatever, a Ford. Okay, I'll just say that. I'm on the board of Ford. And I'm like, okay, so what do you actually do?
yeah. Well,
Right?
I think determining roles on the board is so important, and having roles delegated and ensuring that you bringing something to the table. And you should not join a board if you're just doing it to say, I'm on this board. I gotta have better intentions. It's energy, right? You put energy towards something and you're just doing it for show. I mean, that's what some people do, but I think your heart got to be in it. You want to join a board of something that you really care about, that makes sense to you, that helps move the needle, right? Because this is life. We only have one, so
And that's
move the needle.
important. It's important, right? Because board members, they seem like they're not reachable, right?
Yeah.
Like they're not reachable. So it's like someone coming in, having a conversation about, say, the organizational dynamics, right? How do you make that better as a board member? Like, because you're in different spaces that I'm not in, and it's like you're like a walking advertisement of the organization, Midwest BDC, or any other board that you may sit on, right? So, and I tell people, like, you are pretty much the brand of the coalition. So or anything that you do, because you have your own personal brand. What are you putting out there? What are you portraying, right? As a board member. And because I said I was not going to mention that I was on any other boards, but hey, I plug that organization, right? Because I see that they're doing good work. And that I want them to achieve, like, say if I'm in a space with like a funder or something like that, I'm always plugging the organizations that I'm a part of. So I think with board members, you have to be an added value to the organization. Otherwise, what are you there for?
Exactly.
I don't get that. Briana, you've been knowing me for a long time. Essentially, everybody, just a reminder, the executive director reports to, if you didn't know this, I know I've been mentioning, reports to the board of directors, right? So essentially, Briana is my boss. But
Who's boss in mine? I can barely tell you what to do.
you can tell me what to do, but it's like, what the thing is like, we don't have that relationship where I'm gonna tell you what to do. And like, but essentially she's my boss, right? If you look at it on like paper, but we don't operate that because we have a relationship. And I think that's one thing, when you're trying to start your own organization, if you want to be an executive director, you have to be mindful of your inaugural board of directors, because that is a real thing. And how the organization shapes out. Just FYI, I'm just giving you guys free game, because I know a lot of people trying to start a nonprofit left and right.
What's something to say about that?
I'm just saying, you got to be mindful who's going to sit on that inaugural board, and because they're going to be your boss. And I would never suggest you bring your friends. Because it's like accountability, like, and sometimes it's hard to hold your friends accountable, right? Because you want to be nice, but so I wanted to ask you, what are some projects that you're working on? Tell us about the accelerator that Elevate got going on, how people can tap into the work that you're doing,
Yeah. So if you're in Michigan, so I work on the Justice for the Accelerator. It's an accelerator that's a year, that's deeply relational. And we have a new accelerator starting up in August, probably September is when it'll start, but the application is going to become available soon in Michigan. It's the first state pilot accelerator, so that's exciting. The Justice for the Accelerator is on its third cohort. We are finishing up this third cohort coming in September, so that's exciting as well. So that's the work I do on the Justice for the Accelerator, which is great, exciting work. Because I do work on the Justice for the Accelerator, I also have some other things just going on, because I see gaps in the need of like this time of like climate change. Like it's just a really exciting time to work in the industry.
I know, right?
It is exciting. It's an exciting time. But to your point, like everybody talks about everybody talks about starting a nonprofit organization, but I talk on the phone. People call me all the time and like, oh, I want to start a nonprofit organization. I've gotten over the last month 2 calls about it. And I said, you know what? I think that there's not enough information about what it means to start a nonprofit organization. So this fall, we're having a training. It's a 3-month training. If you want to start a nonprofit organization, just get information about what it means to start a nonprofit organization, because it's highly regulated. It's a lot of, to your point earlier, to have an inaugural board of directors is a lot, and you start in a new startup organization, so you should be there. And also, I'm a mediator, but I also believe in peace building and bridge building. So I also have a training that's starting in July. It's called the Ubuntu, which means I am because we all are, bridge builder training that goes through 6 weeks of understanding. We just talk about conflict resolution and restorative justice because that's important to all of these spaces. You said, what do you need to be on the board? You need to know how to work through conflict, which is hard. That's why I work on it all the time, because it's difficult. It's an art to it, right?
Briana, you should have been on our membership working group meeting today. But I'll get some feedback from you on like the best ways to move forward our not conflict resolution, but our restorative justice and healing justice type of work. Because that is real, especially when you're working in coalition together, cross class, race, intergenerational. Woo, it's gonna be something. So I would say, Briana, how do we find this information about the upcoming trainings coming up?
Yes, I'm on LinkedIn. I am on LinkedIn, and I will be sharing the flyers very soon. I am learning technology, which I use it, but I'm learning it. So it's on my LinkedIn page. My name on LinkedIn is Briana C. Parker.
Great. All right, so we can get you all can get that information because this is really important, especially when you're trying to start a nonprofit. People, it's not as rainbow and sunshine trying to work for a cause. That's what we're gonna do. But the paperwork, the legal stuff, somebody should have told me. But we gonna get it done because I'm gonna make sure we in compliance. Okay.
Sure.
So Briana, wait a minute. Just to go back, Accelerator, because we have a lot of followers who may not be in this space or preview to any of the words that we're talking about. What is a Justice 40 Accelerator?
Okay, so there's Justice 40 initiative that said 40% of the benefits should go into disadvantaged communities was the phrasing, right? And so having disadvantaged communities like Justice 40 initiative, disadvantaged communities, how does that come together? So organizations, including Elevate, one of the founding members of the Justice 40 Accelerator, said, hey, we have to move quickly and make sure that all the funding that's coming in through the Justice 40 initiative, because programs, it's like across 40 programs within the government, we have to make sure that communities are ready, specifically community organizations. So the Justice 40 Accelerator is about ensuring that the benefits of the Justice 40 initiative actually get to community-based organizations that's doing good work, may need help with a grant application. They have a good project idea and they just need a boost. So the Justice 40 Accelerator provides, like I said, it's a relational accelerator. It goes through 12 months. Organizations get $25,000 of unrestricted funding to join. $2,500 in a technology stipend. They also get $15,000 in technical assistance because there's a lot of grants out there, and it's a lot of funding because there's a need. Like what happened with Hurricane Katrina, what happened at Flint, like all of these things that we're seeing, getting it into the community is helpful. So that the rapid response that we know that's going to have to happen, we don't have to wait. We'll just have it.
Okay. So is that only Michigan based? I'm getting that question. Is that only Michigan based, or is it going to be across the United States?
So the National Accelerator is across the United States and its territories. And the Michigan Accelerator is specific to Michigan. It's less organizations in that accelerator, but it's a state-based, it's the first of its kind as a state-based accelerator. So all across Michigan, which is a really big state because the UP is all organizations, specifically those organizations that are in environmental justice communities.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and it's partnered with Eagle,
Eagle.
the state energy office in Michigan.
Okay.
Environment, Great Lakes,
It's
energy,
some
Eagle.
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 I should know this. Okay. Sit on the climate council, but I never get it right every time. I'm like, I don't. It's a combination. Energy,
Yes.
environment, Great Lakes.
Yes.
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 Okay. All right. So, Briana, what do you like doing in your spare time outside saving the world, the environment, energy justice? What are your passions?
Well, I have a dog. His name is Chicago. He's a 70-pound pit bull lab, and so he's one of my joys. I like to walk. I've been walking 5 miles every morning, starting this week. So after I walk 5 miles, I want to take a nap. But I'm like, no, you have to go to work and do all these things. And so I'm really struggling, but I like it. It gets my mind clear in the morning. So other than that, I like to travel. I want to travel the world. That's my goal, to get an RV and just drive around and then go across the world and just travel. Um, I like to meditate. Meditation is something that I love to do, and read and listen to audible books.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you have a solid foundation and you're grounded. I look forward to hearing about your walking journey. So, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in to talk to Briana Carmen Parker about Midwest Building Decarbonization Coalition and the things that we're working on. So, I appreciate all the hard work that you're doing. I look forward to you operationalizing a lot of this mediation, peaceful, and bringing all that awesome stuff to Midwest BDC and offering that to our members. And FYI, everyone, membership is free, okay? And we coalition building is essentially trying to solve a cause that we all couldn't do together, that we couldn't do individually. That's why you come together, organizational, partner, individually, to solve and eliminate these nasty fossil fuels in buildings before 2050. That's why we're doing it. And so we look forward to being in coalition. I'll see you next time, Briana, in the next meeting. I believe it's on Monday.
Yes. Thank you, Marnese.
Thank you all. But just FYI, we do have some upcoming events coming up from Midwest BDC. We have our upcoming Train the Trainer training, TTTT, or 3Ts. Yes. So that's going to be a training on how you can take learning about Midwest BDC on the road to your respective states and cities. That will be trained by me, Maggie, and Jacob, and just take this show on the road because we're building coalition. So that's members have to get this word out about all the awesome stuff that we got going on in the coalition, and what we're doing to solve these issues and to eliminate nasty indoor air quality. So people, we got to get this out to our community. So you get it certified as a official Midwest BDC speaker ambassador. Yes, you get a certificate. I think we're gonna do another snazzy little token, like, hey, I'm a member. I can speak, right? And it's always a good resume builder. So I found that being part a speaker ambassador, that hey, I got the certificate and I can speak on behalf of whatever. Okay, but you gotta get trained up. Let's see. We have something else coming up. We have our equity summit that's coming up in July. That is free. Our stuff is free. Okay. Thank God to our funders for allowing us to be able to fund a lot of stuff that we could do, and it's free. So that's coming up virtually. It's going to be virtually this year, July 31st. And August the 1st is virtual. Briana actually is going to be speaking about Justice 40. So this is really a big thing. So tune into that. The registration is on our website at midwestdecarb.org. So go ahead and register for that and just learn about, what we're doing in regards to building decarbonization, because your home could be plaguing you and your health. Okay. So, and I know if you're in Michigan, you got a high DTE bill, just FYI. I know you do. Because I got one. And I'm like, what the heck? So everybody have a wonderful Thursday and enjoy the rest of your June. And I hope you have fun doing Juneteenth events if you are celebrating. I hope you're celebrating. I mean, there's a good reason to celebrate. But I mean, have a wonderful Thursday, everyone. Thank you. Bye, Briana.
Bye. Peace.